Yeah, so hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be the very first video among the many that we are going to be doing in regards to educational content. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the channel to everyone else out there. And in our very first video we are going to be looking at market structure. So I'm going to try to keep these videos as simple as possible and as well broken down as possible for easy understanding. Hopefully it serves the purpose, right? So in this video, I have a simple outline on what you're going to be focusing on. So I'm going to be very basic with this because there's not much understanding. So we're going to start with the trends, the types of trends and all that. Then we shall see the structure highs and lows and what I consider as a high and low, both on the mapping and on the what and on the candlestick charts. We shall see that as well. Then we shall go down to trend identification and mapping, because we normally use candlestick charts yet on textbooks or in education purposes. We usually use line charts, so how to identify these trends on the candlestick patterns. Then we shall go to simple approaches to understanding market structure. So there's a strategy in particular that I use when I'm trying to understand market structure. Then we shall incorporate in structural breaks. Then later we shall see how to execute differently using price action strategies, and any other conferences shall add on over time onto market structure. So yeah, that's a quick breakdown on market structure and how we are going to run it down on this page. Yeah, so let's dive right into it without further ado. So to start off, market structure in layman's language or in my own perspective, it simply stands for the flow of current price action. In my research, the flow of current price action. So price action means the study of price and its movement over time or in the past and all that. So it's what we call price action, since we are studying about price in terms of currencies. So it's all price action. So by market structure, we mean the current state in which price is currently moving, right? Or in what state of fund the chart that I'm going to be analyzing. In what state of the market is it in? Is it trending upwards, downwards, or sideways, or consolidating, right? So market structure, it's basically price moves in three ways. It's either moving up, or we could say bullish, or moving down. That's bearish, or we could say it's moving sideways or consolidating, right? So it can only be moving upwards, downwards, or it can be moving sideways, right? So there are three ways in which market B is moving. So whichever state you find the market in, or whichever way the chart looks like on the current price, it's what we denote as price action. So trends is going to be our first topic, and by trend, I mean either the upward movement, the downward movement, or the sideways movement of trend, right? So it's just a trend. Are you going upwards? Then we are going upwards. If we're going upwards, sorry, then we are bullish. It's a term we use. Yeah, bullish. Or it's a bull market, right? If we are going downwards, we use the word term bearish, which means going downwards. And if it's moving sideways or between two specific points, we say it's consolidating or ranging. Just a simple understanding of what? Of trends, right? These are the three trends we have in most in the only trends we have, the three trends we have. So if I'm to map it down on a line chart, an uptrend or a bullish market moves, this is how it looks like. Then a downtrend is the opposite of this. So it's a downtrend. Then a consolidation, price basically moving between two price points like this, right? So then after that, right here, I have what we call structure highs and lows, right? So if this is the structure we're having, it's if this is our current price action we are having, the point where price stands from upwards, the highest point price reaches what we call a high, and the lowest point that price reaches is called a low, right? So that's the high and low, structure highs and low. If we are trending upwards, we come from a low, we create a high, right? A low, a high, a low, a high, right? Similarly, when you're going downwards, you come from a high, then you create a low, then we have a high, then we have a low. So that's basically what we mean by structure highs and low, right? So for the sake of learning purposes, we're going to be using line charts most of the time, so we'll go into the charts. And by structure highs and lows, on a line chart, basically what happens is that I want to look at the point in the chart where price has moved and given me a V formation, right? So I'm going upwards and look for these V formations so that I consider as my highs and lows on a line chart. Personally, as myself, that's what we consider as highs and lows, valid highs and lows, right? For both the uptrend, then for the downtrend as well, where I'm forming the V's and the V's on the line charts. These are the structure highs and lows, right? If it's up, it's a high. If it's down, it's a low. So that's simple and basic as it is. So trend identification and mapping, right? So in particular, for trend identification, if I'm going upwards, you don't need to know much science on that. We shall look at the tools that we can use to identify. So the most important one is a trend line that moves like this. Draw it below, and that means that price is respecting this level. And whenever it shares this specific price level, it bounces back upwards. How you One of the ways you can identify the trend, or the easiest way is, right. But the other way is just by determining if it's forming a low, then a high, then it forms a high higher than the previous high. We call this a higher high. Then if it forms a low that's higher than the previous low, sorry, we call this a higher low. So by trend identification, you're just looking at the characteristics of different trends, right? And in simple terms, you can just note it somewhere that when we're in an uptrend or we are bullish, an uptrend or bullish, price is forming a series of higher highs and higher lows. That's for an uptrend. This for an uptrend. Then when a downtrend, you can say that price is forming a series of of lower highs and lower lows. So if this is a representation of an uptrend, we have a low, we have a high, we have another low formed where the V is that's higher than the previous low, so that's a higher low. Then we have another high that's higher than the previous high, which is a higher high. Then the series continues. That's called a higher high, right? Then for a downtrend, we have something similar to that. Sorry, I was zooming this in. Then for the downtrend, we have something similar to that, but the opposite side. So the price is doing something like this, right? So it comes from a high point to a low point, then it forms another high that's lower than the previous high, so we call this a lower high. Then this low, then the new low, sorry, formed down here. It's lower than the previous low, so we call this a lower low. So for the downtrend, price is forming a series of lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, right? Lower high and lower low. So the lower high, so the lower low as well, right? Then for the consolidation, no much science. Price is moving between two price points, and it's not forming any significant what series of highs or higher lows. So by trend identification, I basically mean that the characteristics of a trend, right? If I see these higher highs and higher lows, we're going upwards or in an uptrend. If I see lower highs and lower lows, price is going downwards or in a downtrend. So there is no much science on that. So in the next video, we're going to do the simple approach to understanding market structure. See you there.